Good afternoon and welcome to week 4. I hope that everyone had a safe, productive, and restful holiday. And now we're going to get back to work this week. A couple of things for week 4 that I wanted to discuss with you. The first thing is that there won't be an actual response assignment this week. I want you guys to focus on developing your topics, finding research, and work on your annotated bibliographies. As a reminder, your annotated bibliography is due June 7th, no later than 5 p.m., and make sure that you send that to me as a separate document and you attach it in your email. The second thing is in this week's email, I've included a survey, a course survey that I want you guys to fill out, and it's just a brief survey for me to help give me an understanding of how you're learning in the class, if the course materials are working for you. So it's basically a few questions. You basically highlight if you agree or strongly disagree about something, and then there are three questions that I want you to briefly respond to at the end. And then when you get finished with that, you can just email that to me as well. You don't get credit for that, unfortunately, and there is no true deadline. But I would like you to get those to me as soon as possible so that I can change anything, or if I need to change anything to help you learn a little bit more effectively throughout the course of the semester, I can address that right away. Um, Another thing that I want to discuss is your grades. We are at the midterm at this point in the semester, and when I send back your response assignment number 2 along with your literary analysis, I will also send you a midterm grade report. Now, this midterm grade report will include the assignments all the way up through the literary analysis, and they won't include the response assignment number 3. So I will be sending you a grade report this week as well. So that's what I'm working on right now with your grades. So that's why I haven't gotten everything to you on Monday. It's taken me a little bit longer with grading the 2 assignments that I have from you and also updating your grade reports. So like I said before, this week I want you to continue to work on your papers and to develop your topics and to narrow your scope. A couple of you had issues finding resources. A couple of you had a couple of issues narrowing down your topic. One of the things I want you guys to be aware of is that, with the annotated bibliography, your topic is going to be extremely broad. So you're just basically finding out what everyone else is saying about your topic, and then you're basically going to report on that. So you'll tell me what each source is discussing, and you'll describe that source and how it might relate to your paper. So that's why I had you guys do response assignment number 3. Even though it seemed like it was a lot of work, you'll be able to use a lot of that information from response number 3 in your annotated bibliography, and a lot of the stuff that you use in your annotated bibliography you'll be able to use in your research argument essay. So essentially the paper writes itself. Okay, so you guys have already started your research papers. I've read your topics on ciphers and they sound like some really interesting topics, and I'm really excited to read more about your findings. Like I said, this week I want you to focus on your research papers. The readings from the textbook discuss synthesizing ideas, synthesizing the information that you're reading. Also, this section talks about quoting and paraphrasing and summarizing. So for those of you who have questions about, when am I supposed to quote, when am I supposed to paraphrase, when am I supposed to summarize, what are the differences between the three? They're going to discuss that in the textbook this week. Another thing that they're going to discuss, another thing that I want you to read about is the actual documentation. I had you guys go through the MLA format or the MLA section of your book last week so that you can have an understanding of MLA formatting for the annotated bibliography. And they're going to discuss that briefly in your book at the end of your first reading section. A couple of other things that they discuss, or a couple of other sections that I'm gonna have you read. One of the sections is gonna deal directly with argumentation. So they're gonna give you a couple of examples of what argumentation is. So for this researched argument essay, you're basically developing a thesis statement or a claim about the information that you've found. Okay, so one of the things that I always tell my students is that you don't have the answer to the question before you do the research. So there's no way that you can have this narrow defined thesis statement without understanding what everyone else is saying in the field of your topic. So that's what we're doing these next couple of weeks, and getting the annotated bibliography is finding out what everyone else is saying about our topic, narrowing down our topic, and then coming up with an opinion about our topic, and then you're going to support that opinion. One of the things that I want you to pay close attention to in this week's readings is the outline that they give for you. They actually break down how to write an argument essay. So you have your thesis statement, you have your supporting point, and then it basically goes from a pattern from that point. So you might have your thesis statement, and you might have three things to back up your thesis statement. So here are the 3 points that I'm going to argue, and here are my supporting details to back up that main point, which essentially backs up my thesis statement. And then you basically have your conclusion. They also talk about different pre-writing activities that you can use to help get you thinking about your topics, to help get you thinking about writing the first rough draft of your paper. They have things like brainstorming techniques, drafting. They also have one of the things, like I said last week, one of the things that I like to use is inquiry. So ask questions about my topic. So a couple of you emailed me last week, and you had specific questions about finding topics and coming up with some effective keywords for your searches. And I basically, responded back with, ask questions, ask as many questions as you can about your topic, and that'll lead you to other areas related to your topic. And eventually it'll help you narrow down your topic, and help you develop your thesis statement. So those are the main points that I want you to pay attention to this week with writing your papers. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions, you can email me, post it on Cyphers, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Good luck, and happy reading and writing this week.